Sometimes the biggest con artists don't look like criminals. They look like someone you could trust. Joseph Zada was the man who convinced millions that the American dream was within reach, only to pull the rug from beneath their feet. This is the story of how Joseph Zada's empire crumbled. Joseph Zada wasn't always a criminal mastermind. He was the kind of guy who could talk his way into anything, and most people thought he was charming. Born in Michigan, he worked his way up from humble beginnings, making his first big splash as a financial advisor. The guy had all the right credentials. He was well-spoken, well-dressed, and had a knack for making people feel like they were his best friend. His clients? They were wealthy, retired individuals looking for someone to protect their hard-earned savings. And Joseph? He was their knight in shining armor. But as the saying goes, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Joseph Zada promised his clients something they couldn't resist. A guaranteed high-return investment that would double their money in just a few years. The kind of deal that sounded too good to pass up. And here's the kicker. He made them believe it. He was persuasive. He was charismatic. He painted a picture of financial prosperity so vivid, his clients handed over their savings without a second thought. He promised them the moon and stars, and for a while, it seemed to work. But the truth? Zada wasn't investing their money. He was using it to fuel his own lavish lifestyle, buying a $4.5 million mansion, luxury cars, and even private jets. For years, Zada's scheme worked, until it didn't. The first signs of trouble came when a few clients tried to cash out. They quickly realized that their investment wasn't there. Instead of profits, they found nothing. A few started asking questions. Some started digging, and that's when everything started to unravel. Zada wasn't just taking money from one or two people. He was using the funds of one group of investors to pay off the next batch. It was a classic Ponzi scheme. But the real blow came when the FBI stepped in. In 2016, Joseph Zada's world came crashing down. Federal authorities arrested him, charging him with fraud, theft, and a $20 million Ponzi scheme. The people he had deceived were left with nothing but broken promises. The courtroom was a scene of tension. Former clients cried as they recounted how they lost everything they had worked for. Homes, savings, retirement funds, all gone in the blink of an eye. Zada, however, didn't seem to show much remorse. He insisted that it wasn't a scam, but a series of bad investments that just didn't pan out. But the evidence didn't lie. Joseph Zada was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison. He went from being a man of wealth and charm to a convict with nothing but his reputation left, one that would forever be associated with deception. And so the story of Joseph Zada, a man who once sold promises of wealth, ends as a lesson in trust, greed, and betrayal. Because sometimes even the most charming smiles hide the most dangerous lies. And in the end, no matter how high you rise, the truth always has a way of bringing you back down.